Okay, guys, let's go ahead and continue here with the project. So we stopped right here, right? We were able to push our commands, and okay, so the next part would be to it's not asking for a username, right? So it was asking us for a username and password, and for whatever reason, I could not complete this part. Um, so we're going to let's go ahead and enter. So this is what happened, right? We got the error. They wouldn't take our password, right? So why? It says GitHub paste out um, password authentication to connect with repositories over HTTPS. There are too many security risks and passwords can get intercepted over the internet. You need to use a personal access token instead, which is a more secure method for logging in and interacting with your repos. What is a token, guys? A token in GitHub is a unique string of characters that looks like a random password. For example, this is what it would look like. As you can imagine, tokens are great for security because they're unique to every token. It would be very hard to guess. Okay, so let's enter here the command that we got, or the error message, I should say, basically telling us that it wouldn't take it, right? So, and so when I commit changes to GitHub, git asks for my credentials because it wants to authenticate myself with the GitHub account. Why did authentication fail when you entered your password? GitHub authentication failed when I entered my password because this setting is deprecated for security concerns. Instead, we will create a token. Okay, guys, that was pretty clear. So let's go ahead and create this token, all right? So what I assume this token does, I mean, it's just like a token, right? But the thing is, like, this token it's probably somewhat um like, how do I say, like hashed, right? So it's a password that's hashed that's enabled to pretty much just break, right? So let's go ahead and create this token, right? If we go back here to GitHub, there should be a setting here to create the token. So perhaps if we go to maybe here, not sure where, it'll probably tell us here. We'll have to generate in this step, set up a token, user, okay, so it'll tell us here. Okay, so we are going to generate a token to authenticate with our GitHub account. Okay. So we have to go to settings. Okay, so in settings, so settings, right? We are going to go to authentication, and we are going to passwords. No, we have to go to developer settings. Where is developer settings, guys? Developer settings. personal token tokens, and looks like I already have, because again I worked on this project before, so there is a token that's been already created. However, it's expired, right? So we're going to just generate a new classic. Yeah, let's do classic. And yeah, sure, we'll do it 30. And now what type of access are we gonna give this token? So we'll give this node, and then a token expiration limit is how long your personal access token will work for. After this time period, the token expires and no longer grants access, so you need to generate a new one. Okay, so what do these old scopes mean? We use scopes to decide what kind of permissions your token will grant. Each scope you pick gives the token the ability to do even more things with your GitHub account. In our case, we picked the repo scope, which means the token can access and control private repositories in your account. Okay, so we'll hit here repo, and I think that should be all the permissions we should give it, right? Yep. Alright, so let's go ahead and generate this token, and they want a picture of the token. So I'll just take a screenshot of this since I already created it, and scope, do scope, guys, and we're done. Okay, I also see a banner at the top of the screen. What does this mean? You might see a banner at the top of the screen that says some of the scopes you've selected are included in other scopes. Only the minimum set of necessary scopes have been saved. This simply means the scope repo is the overarching scope of a broad range of permissions, so some of the smaller scopes you've checked under repo overlaps with the main one. Okay, so let me just go back here and check our so because I did not create it, I did not copy it. Okay, so here is our token, and what is a token? Okay, so let me quickly paste this token here. Okay, GitHub token, and a GitHub token is an method that grants access to certain features of GitHub repository. Okay. I could set up a GitHub token by going developer settings and selecting token classic. Okay, so let's switch back here to our VS Code, and again we'll push the changes to our master branch. So let's do that. And for username, seems like it's asking for username. what does this message mean in the term? This message appears when you successfully push changes to a GitHub repository and asks where it shows progress of transferring objects, how many objects were processed, and tells you that your local branch is now tracking the remote branch after the push. What I would like to know, so do I have to enter my username and password regardless? Let's see. It will probably ask us for, so perhaps here's that we could enter our token. Looks like that might have worked, guys. So for my password, I just typed my token code, and looks like it did worked perhaps. So if we go back here and go to our repos and then DevOps project, and this is what I don't like. Default main. So let me just check, guys, my password for my GitHub account. Because I do not recall it. Okay, so let me enter that password here. Oh, I messed up, guys. It's not liking it. It's not liking that. Oh, it looks like it actually pushed. So it did work, right? We should be good. However, I don't want to have two different branches. I want to keep it all under the same branch. But it looks like it's updating on our master branch, which was our default, right? That's what we set up. So we should be good to go from here. Now next time we push a change, it should automatically upload it to this master branch. Okay, so looks like we are doing good so far. And when you add, commit, and push your changes, you might notice the terminal automatically sets to other things. Your name and email, your name and email address before it asks for your username. Okay. Also, does my terminal need my name and email? Git needs author information for who commits the track, who made the change. If you don't set it manually, Git uses the system's default name, which might not accurately represent your identity in your project's version history. So let's go ahead and git log. So it's taking the name, okay. Okay, so it looks like it's not taking my name. It's taking the default username for the EC2 instance. We might want to change that. But let's take a screenshot here. Might tell us to do it here in a second. So save as git logs and Git needs my name and email to keep track of what users have reached to the codebase. Running git log showed me that a user with the name of the EC2 instance has recently made a change to the yes file, right? Which is true because I added my name, right? EC2 default user isn't really your name, and the EC2 instance's IPv4 DNS is not your email. Let's configure your local Git identity so Git isn't running these default values. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's run this right here, and so that didn't work. Thing is, let's see if that works. Okay, so our email is going to be soriavbruno95@gmail.com, and I don't know if you need the commas here, but we'll see. Okay, looks like that worked. Okay. Close this. Alright guys, so we're making progress. Okay? So now the next time that we upload our code or push our changes, it will show us exactly our name, okay? So let's go ahead and continue and on to step number 7. We are good on time, so we'll continue. Your second commit. Great success, we're getting your GitHub connection all set up. So we've learned how to link your EC2 instance files with a cloud repo. Now let's see what happens when you make new changes to your web app files. In this step, we'll edit an index.jsp, again using Visual Code, and run commands that pushes those changes to your GitHub repository too. Okay. So make changes to your web app and commit and push those changes. So we are going to make changes to our push and commit those changes to the cloud. Okay. Keep your GitHub page open and switch back to your EC2 instance's Visual Studio Code window, and then find this file. Okay, and we're going to add this right here, right? So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go back here, and we're going to another header or paragraphs, Okay, so now let's go ahead and click Control S for or just to save this, and we're going to do, let's follow the steps here. Save your changes, head back to your GitHub tab and click into the source main web app folders to find index. Click into the index. Have there been any changes? Okay, so if we go back here, right, if we go here and here, now we don't see that there has been any changes, right? We need to push that change. You won't see your changes in GitHub yet, because saving changes in your VS Code environment only updates your local repository. Remember that the local repository in Visual Code is separate from your GitHub repository. In the cloud, to make your changes visible in GitHub, you need to write commands that send them from your local repo into your origin. Okay. So now we're going to do we're going to stage our changes with git add, and then if we run this command, right, we'll see exactly what is that we're staging. Okay, so as you can see, it's in green, right? It tells us here exactly what is that we added, right? Okay, so it shows the exact changes that have been staged compared to the last commit. Now you get to review your modifications in your code your code that you're about to save into your local repo's version history. Did you know you can view these changes using Visual Code 2? Select source control icon on the side of your under save changes heading. Okay, so yeah, so you can do that on Visual Studio too. So I believe it's here, right? But it looks like it's not connected. But here is where you should be able to see those changes as well, and that's what they're referring to there. Okay. So let's go ahead and push those changes, and we'll exit this. Okay, you can hit Control Z to exit. We'll go ahead and push, and now this shouldn't ask this every time. My terminal isn't letting me enter commands. Okay, so when you run certain git commands like git status, git uses a pager to handle the output by default. This is usually in most Unix like systems. So exactly what we saw, I just asked you to exit that pager with Control Z. You can also enter Q. The pager lets you scroll through information that can't fit on a single terminal window, and the terminal will look like it's stuck because it's waiting for you to finish reviewing the output. Well, in this mode, you can enter new commands until you quit the pager view. Okay, so you might need to enter. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. That's exactly what I was wondering, why it kept asking me over again. So let me grab here my token, we'll copy it, we'll paste it, and we should be good. Now if we go back here and we just refresh, now we're able to see that the update, right? I have to enter my username and password again. This is because we set up the connection to our GitHub repo using its HTTPS URL. Using HTTPS is straightforward compared to other options like SSH, but it's also stateless, which means Git doesn't remember your credentials for security reasons. That's why Git asks for your GitHub credentials every time you pull from or push to your GitHub repo. Top tip, right after you enter your username and token again, you can run the store to ask it to remember your credentials for next time. So let's go ahead and actually do that. Now, if you're working for an organization, this might not be ideal. This is something that you could discuss, right, with your managers. I don't really have any professional experience working in this type of environment, so I couldn't tell you, but I would assume that they wouldn't want you to store these credentials locally, unless they're like computers that are managed by organization. That way, at least it's a bit safer. Otherwise, I'd probably tell you no. So we'll do that. We saved it, and we should be good. So now they want a screenshot of the updates that we've made here to our JSP file, right? So we'll do updated. Okay, which file did you update in Next Work Web App? I wanted to see Git working in action. So I couldn't see the changes in my initially because I pushed the new changes to the master branch. I couldn't see the changes in my GitHub repo initial because it was only saved on my local repository, right? So what did you have to do to see your changes in your GitHub repo? I finally saw the changes in my GitHub repo after I pushed the changes to the master branch. Okay. So that looks good, guys. And it looks like that's it. We've successfully completed the project. I think it went really smooth. And so again, what we're going to do, since now we have the now that we've concluded with this part 2 of the series, we'll go ahead and delete it, and also don't delete your key pair because we'll use it for our next project, which is part 3. But you don't have to delete Visual Code or GitHub. They're completely free. And yeah, guys, so GitHub is a cloud software platform that stores and keeps track of changes made to our code base for a project. Okay, I did not expect to learn more about how authentication happens between the repository. I honestly didn't know that you could also authenticate yourself via this token. I think it's pretty neat. So it took me about, so how long has it been on this video, guys? 30 minutes, so about an hour and 30 minutes. I did this project to learn more about AWS and how it can connect to for integration and allow others to particular. Hey team. Okay guys, that is all for today. I hope you have enjoyed. Let me know on the comments if you have any questions, whether you get stuck or not. And I will see you guys on the next one. Take care guys.